now we are all live here. Hello, hello, everyone. All the people who are on Instagram and all the people who are joining us from YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. We are live and welcome to episode 3, season 2 of Thoughtful Thursday. And today, for our episode, we have a very, very special guest with us, and that is somebody who has really gone on an unconventional path and made India proud at the global level. Instagram people, I want to tell you that we may have a small pause in between when Nanda ji is speaking because she cannot join here, but don't worry, I'll keep telling you what she has said. So Nanda ji, why don't you say something about our guest today? uh-uh. Never mind, Nanda ji has left, but we are here. So Lokesh is somebody who belongs to Delhi, and he started at a very early age. And he had always this interest in sketching, and then despite the ups and downs, he kept persistence, and he made it so big that he is among the top 10 tattoo artists in the world, and not only in the world, but not for only his craft or making tattoos on people, but also teaching the craft, taking forward the legacy. He has been called internationally to various institutions to do that, and it gives both of us, Nandaji and I, such immense pleasure to have this personality here. So Lokesh, what would you like to say?
Hi, thank you for inviting me. I would like to thank both of you to invite me on your
Welcome.
platform, and I would like to thank everyone for tuning in and to listen to whatever blabber I have to do on your show. I'm just a tattoo artist, and I've not cured cancer, so just treat me like a normal person. It's all the praises that you said. It does not mean anything. I'm just sketching in the end.
No, you are being so humble. Nandaji, what would you like to say?
Yeah, curing cancer or any severe, malignant diseases also requires a creative mind. It requires some creativity to be able to either cure or take people away from that. And that Lokesh has been able to create so beautifully that people have make a beeline to go towards him. I mean, even as we were trying to log into Insta, I could see all the respect, bro, you're the best artist, and all the other comments that have been coming. So, what is due to you is due to you. And, it's people like you who become an inspiration for the younger generation to join in and follow in your footsteps. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
thank
would
you so
like
much.
you to ask you the first question, that as I said that you started at a tender age of 19, Lokesh, when people do not know what do they have to do in life. I mean, at 19 I was a wreck, and everybody has those teenage tantrums. What inspired you to choose this completely unconventional path?
Uh, so when I was growing up, I don't know if you've heard my story or my TEDx talk, but I was always the kind of black sheep in the family. Always, I had nothing when I was growing up. I come from a very lower to middle class family and very limited resources, so I was always up to do something new, and I know that I at that time I already knew that I have to support my family and do whatever comes my way. So along with my education, along with my graduation, along with my MBA. In fact, the day I gave my final exam of the boards, did not even wait for the result. I was working the very next day on the road, distributing pamphlets for my first job. So I was always up for trying something new. And I think if you try 100 new things, I'm sure that one or two things will click. Because if you just try one or two things, you might not be the best at it. But if you take all the shots that life gives you, there are very good chances that out of 100, one or two things might click, and you might enjoy it, and everything will fall into place automatically. So I always say that keep on hustling till the time you don't find what you really want to do in life. Like, don't just stick to one thing. People do engineering, and I'm not talking about all of them, I'm not generalizing, but a lot of them I see, are miserable in their lives, or any other thing, they are working that same 9 to 5 job, and then they're, in in the evening they're outside the office drinking in the car in the same monotonous life, and they're not enjoying whatever they're doing, and they're just cribbing about their job all the time. Most of the artists that we have, I think 4 or 5 engineers I have trained. After engineering, they came to me to learn tattoos. That's why I gave this example of engineering, because medical is difficult in India. Engineering everyone gets. They have to do engineering, and then they are not satisfied with their life. In fact, in our team also there are 3 engineers right now who were engineers full time, and they left their jobs and became tattoo artists.
Wow, that
Nanda
is
ji.
so beautiful. Yeah, I
I
mean,
think Nanda
it
ji,
is.
they're not. She's not on Instagram, right? So
Yeah, the problem is she's in Dubai, and from there, this issue happens in Instagram. Last time, our guest also was there. He joined in, and his screen was black. So that's why
okay,
3 places we can have her beautiful face, but we don't want to let go Instagram. So we are we both are live here on
okay.
Instagram.
So I would like to tell the Instagram audience that there's another guest with us
So
on another
sweet.
platform, which you cannot see or hear her right now here on this
I'll
platform on
show them.
Instagram.
See, she's our
Yeah.
beautiful guest, Nanda ji.
So when she's speaking, and we are listening to her, we will be quiet on Instagram. So don't think that something is wrong. Just that you
Yeah,
cannot see her
yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah, thank you so much for that little introduction to the people on the other end. Yes, we have to hustle. So one of us is always hustling, either it's Uzma or me. And this time it's me who's set out to see what else we can get for our Educate to Elevate platform. So, Lokesh, coming back to you, you've had these wonderful 19 years. इसमें कभी उतार रहा होगा, कभी चढ़ाव रहा होगा. So, can you
Hmm.
tell us, can you share with us what kind of a journey it has been? Has it always been all rosy, rosy, or has it had its rough patch? Jahan, where your self motivation, your confidence was also, hit hard. Because अक्सर जब हम कोई, whenever we are on a new path, or untrodden path, trying to do something different, people always put you down. ये क्या कर रहे हो? इसमें क्या मिलेगा? So, has there been these kind of things? Because we want people to take inspiration and know कि भाई कुछ भी हो जाए, you have to hold on to
Hmm.
your passion. तो आपकी
Right.
जिंदगी में ऐसा क्या रहा है where you can share and those instances?
Okay. So to my Instagram audience, Nanda ji, what she asked is in short about my highs and lows in life, and whatever shortcomings I faced. So we can speak in English, right? Hindi and English.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I think we have Indian audience mostly. So ऑफ कोर्स हर करियर में ऊपर या नीचे हमेशा अप एंड डाउन हर होता है, एंड सेम इन टैटूइंग. In fact, when I started tattooing in 2003 is when I picked up the machine first. There was no YouTube tutorials to teach me anything. There was not even Google that time. So कुछ भी नहीं होता था, और someone was coming from USA. Machines मैंने मंगवा ली उनसे, मेरे को पता नहीं है कि how to assemble the machines. I had everything in front of me, so I thought someone has invented everything like this: machinings, needles, everything is in front of me right now. I have to just assemble and do it. People are always amazed कि how can anyone learn tattooing themselves.
Yes.
But if you want to do something really bad, you end up doing it somehow. So machine mangwa ke I started tattooing on my leg, on my hands, on my father also, on my friends, whoever I could find. So I had to just figure out ke machine needle, how much needle I have to insert. So I was very careful. Most of my earlier tattoos did not even stay because I was very careful in not even going deep enough jitna chahiye. So technically I had a lot of issues कि tattoo करना नहीं आता था, but I could always draw, and tattooing is just another medium of drawing. So if you can draw on paper, you will be much better than other people to draw on another medium like a canvas or oils, or even tattooing, or an iPad. So the art is basically inside you. The tool in the hand is just to show it to other people how you do it. So technically those problems were there, but first 5 years, thankfully tattooing was not very common in India, and the tattoos that we used to do are those WWE sort of big tribal tattoos, which are just thick tribal lines. So उसमें इतना ज़्यादा कुछ creativity थी नहीं. You have to just draw an outline and fill it inside. So that's how I started. That's how I learned. And you know, and they say that if you do something for 10,000 hours, you become. I read it in some book. I forgot. You if you practice something for 10,000 plus hours, then you reach an international world class level in that. So I think 5,000 hours मेरे first 5 years में easily हो गए होंगे. And I was
Wow.
very, so you get the basic idea कि line, if you're pulling a line and the ink is coming out right or not, वो experience के साथ साथ, and it's repetition and muscle memory, वो सब हो गया था. But financially, of course, I was doing my MBA, and my parents were also wondering, "Hey, what are you doing tattooing? Leaving your MBA." I completed my MBA. I was working in some company who offered me a permanent position. I was doing my internship with some company, and like I did not take it. I worked there for 1 year as an intern, but I did not take the final job offer. I was like, I'll open my own studio. So they were, of course, worried, but I've hustled so much, I've struggled so much in life that I realized that money cannot bring you happiness. Because when I did not had any money, when we was having nothing, and my parents and my sister, four of us were living in one room, and the kitchen was also in the same room, we were still happy. It did not make us sad because that was normal for us, right? So I was like, what maximum can happen? Tattooing से मैं इतना तो कमा ही रहा हूँ कि जितना मैं अपने जॉब से कमा रहा हूँ. इनफैक्ट उससे ज्यादा ही कमा रहा था, just by tattooing on the weekends. Because most of the times I was in the morning, I was going to college for the full time college from 7 morning to 12. And from 12 onwards, I used to go to my internship. रात को tattooing or DJing also I used to do part time. As I told you, I do everything, whichever
Wow.
I can get my hands on to, especially that time, from McDonald's to anything. This so yeah, so DJing also, by the way, I learned on my own. And
Wow.
so I was like, this what makes me happy is tattooing, not sitting in the front of the computer for 8 hours a day and typing emails all day and fighting with the clients, and whatever client complaints or whatever they have, grievances. I don't want to do that all my life. Tattooing is giving me more happiness. Money, definitely. If even if the money is same, at the same time, this is giving me more happiness. And even if the money is little less, I will still be choosing tattooing because this is giving me happiness. So I figured out very early in life that money is just, till the time you have food on your plate, and you have a roof over your head, you don't need anything else. Everything else is just extra. Everything else in your bank is they are just numbers, and it's just luxury. You should have, of course, a little bit of savings, which you can, if you live prudently and don't spend on foolish things, you can save a little bit. But we don't need much to be happy and survive. So this was my philosophy, and I was like, I will do tattooing anyway. This is making me happy, and that's how I started. That's how I chose tattooing. And ups and downs जो थे monetarily, I don't really care about them. Abhi bhi, if I have to shut down all my studios, I still tell my wife that I have enough power by the grace of the universe in my hands, that I will be able to still survive and do enough work, painting, sketching, or tattooing, that we are able to I'm able to feed the family, and everything else, as I told you, is just extra.
Wow, I can't tell you. I don't have words right now. Listening to you is so inspiring, Lokesh. You may say that you are just somebody who is sketching, but आपके हर सवाल में, चाहे वो आपका पहला जवाब हो या related to this question, everything gives so much to learn. The first one, when you said this thing, try n number of things. I mean, that was the best takeaway for me, because people give up, or people keep fixating on one thing, and they do not do that self check. Maybe there is something else that we can try, if we are failing in something. That is so beautiful. And after that, in this, the sense of gratitude and satisfaction for and giving priority to your happiness. There are so many people who keep slogging their life in a job they are not happy with, but you are such an epitome of this example, setting up this example in front of so many young people who are loving you and sharing all these comments and relating to your story ki paisa chahe kam ho, but when you get the satisfaction and happiness, that's more than
Yes.
enough. I mean, I remember when you said कि मेरे को जो मिलता था मैं उनको टैटू करना प्रैक्टिस करता था. I think Nanda ji and I will relate to it when we started our studies as life coaches. our mentors told कि जो मिले उसके साथ coaching practice करो, and that's what we used to do कि 100 hours 200 hours we'll do it and we'll practice, and that's what polish does. That beautiful line you said कि खूब practice करके muscle memory बनाना, that is what is important. And people find that consistency boring, and once they realize that consistency is the key to success, I am sure
Yeah.
everybody will be able to succeed. Which brings me to this question that, this consistency brought so much laurel to you that in 2019, you were the first artist from Asia to be invited to lecture at the University of Tattooing and Fine Arts in Italy. What
Yeah.
led to this honor being bestowed on you?
Uh, I'm usually working in Europe since 2010. Every year I go there, and 3 months in a year I'm definitely there, except for the COVID years. So I've been working in Italy, Switzerland, France, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, a lot of places every summers, especially the middle Western Europe and Southern Europe. And yeah, so I work in this studio. Alex De Pace is one of the great tattoo artists. Say you can say the early adopters of color tattooing, one of the inventors of it. And I was working at his studio, and he knew me since long time, and he's the one who runs this. He's one of the coaches of this university, which gives you it is the first one which gives you a degree in tattooing and fine arts. And he asked me to, why don't you come next year and lecture our students about not just the techniques, but about how to approach tattooing and how to approach things in life, because he knew my story, and he's like, it's not all about money, and he knows very well about me. So I was like, yeah, I would be glad to accept your offer. So the next year I went, and this batch of students, and I lectured them, and it was an honor for me to be invited there. So it was, as I'm talking to you, plus some more technical things were there definitely, but it was more about a general conversation and my outlook and how these young kids should approach. Don't get into the glamour and the bling bling of the industry, and you should
Very
be
true.
very honest, and don't come into this field because you think it's glamorous and it's not Bollywood, or you're not a rock star. So come into this field if you're really interested in art. So just my general perception about tattooing, and I shared some technical things. So yeah, in fact, I was there for 2 weeks, and I gave few lectures, and I think they liked it.
I'm sure. Nandaji.
Who wouldn't like Lokesh? The kind of aura he brings with him. We keep teaching people that life is not only about getting things, it's also about having confidence within yourself. It's your happiness that really matters, and all of that is represented in this young man. So Lokesh, बताइए कि do we in India also have any such recognized institutions or any such academies where these things are recognized, or there is any degree for this tattooing or anything that you know of?
No, in India there is no such university which gives you a degree
Mm.
or diploma in tattooing. You have to learn under some, studios, private studios. All those small tattoo schools are coming up, but they are also like an extension of a studio. So I have, say, we don't take more than 4 students in a batch right now. I also teach. I've been teaching since 2007. Amar, who was my one of the first students, is still working with us since the last 12, 13, 14 years, 15 years now, I think. So there's no, because tattooing is not recognized in India as a profession, I think still, and apart from the taxes, the government wants to take the taxes but does not want anything else to do with it. So there is no regulation, no law about how to maintain the hygiene, what needles, what standards of inks to use. So
Mm.
there is of course no recognition or affiliation to any university with tattooing, but yeah, you can, in every city you can find a good studio and do an apprenticeship, a mentorship under them, and apprenticeship under them, and usually it's 4 to 6 months, and you learn the basics. And as I told you, after learning the basics, even if you complete your MBBS, you're not as good of a doctor as someone with 20 years of experiences. So it's all experience after learning the basics and the repetition I told you about. So yeah, there are a
Correct.
lot of places where you can learn tattooing in India. In all the major cities, you have places, and you can approach a studio if you're planning to. Make sure you see their works, you see their portfolio, you see the experience that they have, and if they teach, talk to some of their previous students, and I think you can easily find places who teach you tattooing in India.
Okay. So, Lokesh, here one person, tattooist Mahesh, has asked that, sir, in small towns we get a huge problem on pricing. What should we do? Any suggestions?
See, as I told you, money does not is not a major factor, but when it comes to pricing, I'm very strict about it because I value my art. So we our studio since the last 10, 15 years, whatever you must have seen, we don't give any sort of deals, discounts. If your work is good, clients will come to you. If your work is not
Amazing.
good, even if you give the tattoo for free to them, they will not come to you. It's as simple as that. So take your work to that level that you can charge and you can command your prices. And I always believe in charging whatever price I believe I should charge of my work, because as they say, artwork has no price. The artist has to decide. So if someone does not want a tattoo from me, good enough. But if I charge an hourly price, and if someone is bargaining with me, or even in the studio, we don't do that. So we are very strict about the pricing, because it has taken us 15 years to do something which people think it can be done in 2 minutes. So it's a very common saying, you don't owe us for those 2 or 30 minutes, you owe us for that 15 years of experience. Otherwise, there are so many newbies in places in Delhi like Palika Bazaar or Hoskars Village. You'll find a lot of studios with ample, like 20 studios in a row, and someone with like an apprentice can attempt to do the same tattoo. I won't say they will be able to execute the same tattoo. The quality will not be the same. The clients have to understand this. Someone with 1 year of experience, 6 months of experience, and someone with 10 years, 10 plus years of experience, even the size of the tattoo is the same, but they should not charge the same. They cannot charge the same because of their experience. Otherwise, it's an insult to an artist who's been practicing this craft for decades. So I don't care about the pricing. The short answer is I stick to my pricing whether the client wants it. If they don't want it, good luck to them. But yeah, you have to be very strict about that. Otherwise, in price wars, only the businesses lose. You give it a discount of 10%, the studio next to you give it 20% discount, the next one gives 40%, and everyone is losing. So respect your art, and you will get paid according to your experience, according to your worth. So respect your worth, respect your experience.
Absolutely agree, and both of us have the similar, approach to our work कि भाई अगर नहीं करना है कोई नहीं, but do not sit and bargain क्योंकि हम यहाँ आलू प्याज की दुकान लगाकर नहीं बैठे हैं. Everything is an
Right.
art. There is so much work that goes into it. There's so much dedication that has been put into it and education. So let us respect that. So,
Yeah.
going a little deeper into your art, we wanted to understand कि abroad we have been given to understand that people have emotions and stories attached to the tattoos that they make. And is there something similar that you see in the Indian scenario, or you feel that it's people just come because it's a fashion statement? What is the difference that you see?
Now a lot of people have started putting thought behind their tattoos, as in what they want the tattoo to represent. But when I started, it was just there used to be 40 designs on the wall, and they would come to the studios with number 12, which is just a panther head or a tribal design or anything like a barbed wire, which has no meaning to them. They will just get it purely for aesthetics to decorate their body. But now, as people are getting more and more into it, they definitely want a meaning behind their tattoo. They want their tattoo is like the biggest form of expression you can have on your body, which is permanent. You can never remove it. So definitely, people nowadays are putting thoughts. They want the tattoo to represent a specific thing. It can be the name or the portrait or the love for their loved ones. They want to show it through a portrait or their signature or their thumbprints or XYZ, or they want to portray their faith on their sleeve by getting a religious tattoo done. So now, yeah, people are definitely putting their thought. Before, it didn't used to be. The only difference in India and abroad, tattooing abroad, you have a lot of freedom to design and create a new design for the clients. In India, people get the same design from the internet and want the exact same thing, which is very
Okay.
disrespectful for the original artist also, and the original client also who got it done, and for you also, because tattoos, like, you are unique, you are one in billions, so your tattoo should also be unique. You should not just copy someone else's tattoo. So we can create something similar. We always tell the clients on the similar lines, changing some things, at least don't get the same thing done. We can have the same elements, and it will mean the same thing, but in India, people usually don't understand this, and abroad, everyone wants a customized tattoo. They don't want a copy of someone else's tattoo. So that this is a big difference. Another thing is, in India, a lot of people are just getting tattoos for the sake of having a tattoo, like to be
True.
in the crowd of, even I have one. So they'll just get one tiny thing and that's it. Abroad, I don't think I've done smaller than, say, a 6 by 6 or 5 by 5. Maybe I might have done, but 95% of the times a tattoo is a palm size or bigger, or a half sleeve, or even a full sleeve. So people are going for bigger pieces abroad. The artist gets a lot of creative freedom, and of course they don't want copies, which is, these three things are not in India right now. But at least people want something meaningful in India nowadays, and I think we are 50 years behind USA. Yeah, at least, because this was going on in the USA in 70s. Even if you see the
Oh.
laughter comedy, these comedy clubs which are coming up right now everywhere since the last 5 years in India, stand-up comedy in New York started in this early late 60s or early 70s. So it's exactly 50 years behind we adopt things like alternative subcultures.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
And
I think in
even
the next 50 years we will have a better mindset.
yeah, and even we can see like the reality that we do not have, tattoo making as a recognized field of
Yeah,
education yet in India.
yeah,
Perhaps Thoughtful Thursdays, ये जो हमने initiative लिया है to call people who are, walking on the unconventional professions might bring some changes. And you talking so much about with passion about tattoos, I am curious to know that what kind of designs do you enjoy making? We have also heard, about your music tattoos. What is your specialty and what do you enjoy the most inking?
I mostly do because I enjoy doing colored portraits, which is, I was the first guy in India to do that style, because realism itself is very hard. And I started doing realism in the first 5 years of my career in black and gray portraits. And a lot of people started doing black and gray portraits. So I moved in 2012, 10 years ago. I did my very first colored portrait, like how you're seeing me on screen, in color, in 3D,
Yeah.
replicating that on skin. So that is one of the toughest forms of tattooing. And if you go and see my profile, that is 99% of things I do is that, because I enjoy the challenge of, because there is no eraser in this. And uh, if you write a name or something, even if the A goes from here to there, little bit, the line goes, you can just make it black and it will still look like an A or B or C. But if the eye goes from, or the nose, if you screw it up a little bit, you cannot reverse it. So this is the most challenging form of tattooing, and the client compares eyelid, even the smallest of the details at the end of the session. So that is very intriguing for me also. Still gives me goosebumps before I start a colored portrait, but that's the only thing I like to do.
Wow, that is so
Yeah.
amazing. Lokesh, uh, I really feel this is something that is like a जैसे आप वो यूनिवर्स की बात कर रहे थे ना, the power of the universe. This is some kind of a blessing that is there. I've lost my husband about 6, 7 years ago, and he was a charcoal artist where he took up the challenge of making art on canvas with charcoal. Again, like you, it's a very difficult thing क्योंकि charcoal canvas में वो छोटे छोटे ये होते हैं. It's not
Yeah,
possible
yeah.
to Erase नहीं
make
हो
it all
पाता
black.
है.
This texture and all is very difficult.
And he
Yes.
would sit with one stroke and he would do it, and I'm just, that
Yeah.
whole thing is coming in front of me when you're sharing this aspect about you want to do this thing and it is your passion, and you this is the challenge that you want to take up when you're doing your tattooing. So really respect to you.
Thank you.
What would do you still have any dream celebrity that you want to ink? Is there anybody that is still there who you think about that, yes, I want to?
No, I don't think so because now I don't give a damn about celebrities or anything
I
else.
love that. I love that one. Over to
But
you, coach.
yeah, but yeah, Shah Rukh Khan was one of my. I was a big fan of SRK, and if I ever want to tattoo someone, it'll be him because
Uh,
he globally represents our country, and that man
yes.
he's very witty and very charming, and I think he's a true gentleman by heart also. So he's one of the
Completely agree.
yeah. So I don't care about Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, but yeah, I'm
I
just talking
love
about celebrities.
I love this confidence. I mean, this is so inspiring.
Yeah, yeah, and also his story inspires me a lot because he also came from. I'm not comparing myself with him, but he also struggled a lot in his childhood, maybe. And I
Yeah.
also come from Delhi, from the same area where he was from, and you know, distributing pamphlets on the road in May. I was 16 years plus, not even complete 17 years old when I started doing any sort of job. So that struggle is what I respect out of people like him and
Yeah.
respect. Yes.
We have a question from Smith John. He says, "Dear Maman sir, क्या ये possible है कि skin pad पे regular practice से tattoo सीख सकते हैं?"
यू कैन सीख सकते हैं आप मतलब कैसे बताऊं मैं इसका आंसर। आप स्किन पैड पे टैटू करके उतना ही टैटू सीख सकते हैं जितना आप डमी पे सर्जरी करके सर्जरी सीख सकते हैं। When the real skin will come, when the real person will come in front of you, the texture of the skin, the depth, the pressure that you have to apply, everything is completely different. You can just make your hand steady by pulling lines again and again on a skin pad, which is a rubber skin pad, silicone sort of a thing. But of course, the real skin behaves completely differently. So मतलब आप थोड़ा टेक्निक सीख सकते हैं थोड़ी बहुत, but 100% tattooing I don't think you can.
Also, Lokesh, don't you think कि हर इंसान की पेन की कैपेसिटी अलग होती है? बेयरिंग
नहीं,
पेन, किसी को थोड़ा सा भी चुभ जाए तो उफ हो जाता है, and some people like you can go on. So, like you're
yeah.
rightly saying, a real skin would give you the actual, you know.
Yeah, exactly. People behave differently. Also, the skin does not complain back that you're digging too deep. So a real person would. So yeah, it's completely different. You're right.
And when we are talking about the pain capacity and different people and the way they take up tattooing and the whole experience, what comes to me as the next question, Lokesh, is that what are the common bloopers that has happened or that happen when people get a tattoo made? We would like you to share some interesting incidents if you have had, like maybe somebody's got a wrong tattoo made, or the pain that the person passed out. What all is there
People
something
pass
like this
out.
that has happened?
People pass out all the time. Not all the time, but it's not uncommon for people to pass out if they're hungry, if they've not eaten their meal before the tattoo, and they have this anxiety. They block they clench their fist very tightly, and they don't let the blood flow. They don't breathe, so they pass out sometimes. And first time someone passed out, I killed a guy while tattooing. But then, but then I sprayed immediately. I had a spray, next to me. I sprayed it on his face, and he came back to his life. And like, what happened? I was like, man, I was hungry and I was not breathing. I was like, okay, so I should take care of that. So I always make sure I tell my client to have something sugary before the tattoo, or eat something properly, breathe normally. Don't just hold your breath and try to endure the pain. Be normal. It's just like a prick. 1,000 times in a minute, but it's still a prick. But it's less than an injection. But it's not as painful as is people think it is. It is more like injection is more painful because in the injection when you inject the medicine inside, that is when you feel the pain. And this one is
Hmm.
it really goes 1 millimeter, 1 mm inside your skin. So it's not as painful. Of course, for longer sessions after 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hour sessions, the client starts feeling uncomfortable. But small tattoos are easy. You will feel some pain, of course, but it's just most of my female clients tell me that it's like threading or waxing. So I
Hmm.
Ju- Nanda ji, just 1 minute. So, since you have already compared it, but Rushil Saklani asked this thing only, that what can you compare the pain of getting tattooed to any sort of pain in life?
pain, the pain in life is much more. Tattooing is has nothing on it. So uh, I think if you can bear the pain of life, which life is giving us every day, tattooing is nothing compared to it.
Such
More
funny
like a needle
question.
prick.
Yeah, it's nothing basically. It's not that much. People exaggerate also too much because they want to show their bravado that they got it done and no one else can do it.
Yeah,
But it's long sessions are definitely painful and uncomfortable, I would say. But smaller tattoos, 1 2 hours, you can easily take it. And especially women, I would like to tell you, 65% of our clients are females, and they take the pain very easily because you guys are used to these threading, waxing, and other women sort of problems. And I would not say problems, but things, and childbirth and all these things. And
yeah, that's a,
surprisingly, the male clients feel more pain, and the bigger the muscles they have, the bodybuilder kinds, they feel the most pain.
so it's said,
Honestly,
women have a better
maybe
threshold
because they
of
have very
pain.
thin skin, and it's just muscle. Maybe they don't have the fat. It's something
Yeah.
about bodybuilders that they feel more pain. I'm not trying to,
No, no, and
disrespect them, but they do.
absolutely. Again, like I was saying, everybody's threshold of pain is different.
Yeah.
Anybody can feel it more, anybody can feel it less. There's lots of things that goes behind that science. इसी सवाल को मिलता जुलता सवाल ये भी है कि व्हाट आर द मिथ्स दैट आर अराउंड टैटूइंग. कुछ कहते हैं डीएनए बदल जाता है, कुछ कहते हैं कि यू
Mhm.
कैन गेट एनी टर्मिनल डिजीज. तुम अगर टैटू करा लो तो इट इज लाइक गॉड नोज, इट्स लाइक अ ड्रग. वो इंजेक्शन डाल देते हैं तुम्हारे अंदर, पता नहीं. आई मीन देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स. So today, because a lot of youth are, you know, evolving to this art, we would like you to break some of these myths that are there around tattooing.
Yeah, there are a lot of myths about tattooing. जैसे कि डीएनए बदल जाता है. So if the DNA would change from a tattoo or a needle, they would not work on things like CRISPR and all these technologies. Uh, I've heard a lot of clients saying कि उनको कैंसर या HIV एड्स हो जाता है. So if you use a used needle, of course, even in a hospital, or if you don't clean the surface area, and not only the needle, there are other so many things involved in tattooing. So everything has to be brand new, one time use, sterilized. So the needles that we use are from Germany, the inks that we use are quantum tattooings from USA. They all, in USA, Germany, they're very strict laws, so you cannot just sell anything. So they're completely safe for the skin. And if you go to a reputed tattoo studio, they will of course use everything new, because since they want to be in the business of, they don't know anything like me. They don't want to spoil their reputation, so everything, they use premium quality products and certified products. There is no chance of getting anything. The inks that we're using are organic and vegan, so there are no chemicals or metal in it. In the older times, in the 70s, tattoo inks used to have traces of metal, some chemicals in it, but that is not the case now. Scientists have, and these chemists have worked so much on these technologies that they are purifying every year. It's getting cleaner and better, and the colors stay more vibrant now compared to the older times. So there is of course no risk. uh, or 99.9% no risk. Once you get the tattoo done and you go home, if you let your dog lick your tattoo, then I cannot guarantee what will happen to it. But generally from the studio, when you go from our studio, I don't think there should be any problem. Or if you if someone touches it with dirty hands and all, even if you touch it again, if the scab when the scab is like a dry layer of skin which is forming, if you peel it off, or while you're sleeping it accidentally gets peeled off, that is the time you can lose some color. There are some instances that it can happen, but it's again, as anything can happen then in that case. So 99% of the cases it's very safe. And I've got tattoos myself. I've done it on my family, loved ones. I won't do it on them if it will be unsafe.
True. So, just a quick question in this. You have so many tattoos on your body. Which one is your favorite?
Well, my wife's portrait and my son's portrait are my favorite because
Wow, so nice.
portraits. Yeah.
So who did
And
it for
one,
you?
yeah, Nanda.
Who did it for you? Your
Sorry,
wife's portrait and your
my
son's
wife's and my
portrait.
son's. Yeah.
Portrait. Who did it for you? You did it yourself.
Uh, no, no, no. The same guy, Alex Di Pace from Italy, he did that, my son's portrait, and in Italy. And my wife's portrait I got in 2008 or 7, something, 8, I think. In Singapore, there was an artist from Taiwan who did that. She was not my wife that time. She was just a girlfriend. But but I got it done, and I flew to Australia. She was in Australia studying that time. So from Singapore, I flew to Australia and surprised her with the tattoo and myself.
Wow, so romantic. This is giving goals to all the guys now. All the girls who are watching this are going to give a hard time to their boyfriends.
Best of luck, guys.
There is one question here, Lokesh, by Sarah Inc. The Hardcore. That bro, tell about lip tattoo. Same process as normal tattoo, or is there any special process for lip tattoo?
It's the same process. In fact, the ink comes out very fast on the lip. People usually get inner lip tattoos done, hidden
Mhm.
something. Or some people have discoloration of the lip, so they get the cosmetic procedure done. But the lip is, of course, it's a softer skin than any of your other bicep and other skins. So you have to be very careful, and you have to be very gentle in that area. In fact, people think that it won't stay, so they dig in deep. You don't have to do that. Just be very gentle, put your machine speed very slow, and you have to go over maybe maximum 2 times at an area, and the ink might not show that time because there's a lot of, you will see some bleeding also, so you might not see the ink, but it comes out very fast and it stays very well. And also the thing with this area, generally the most of our blood flow is in our face, so the tattoos on our face, say the lips, they heal very fast compared to other tattoos.
Okay, there is Nandaji, one interesting question because I also want to know about this. This is So Shri asking, is there any tattoo shiny cream or oil available that I can use? Please recommend if there is any.
No, there's nothing specific. There are a lot of tattoo creams in the market, but once the tattoo is done, if it's not looking good, it won't make the tattoo better. They are just for the healing process. Like for the first healing takes 10-15 days, so maximum you can apply it for a month. After that, you can apply any general moisturizer every day, because if the skin is too dry and rough and whitish and ashy, then uh, the tattoo won't look nice. So your skin has to be moisturized nicely every day. But at the time of healing, there are a lot of, like, Dermalize makes a lot of good products for healing, so you can apply those at the time of healing. But if you have a 10-year-old tattoo which is faded, which is not looking good, these creams won't do any miracle and won't bring it back.
So, Lokesh, listening to you and all that you've been sharing about how deep the needle goes, and about the lip, and it being the
Yeah.
softest part of your body, and the blood flow being the most on your face. A question that is just coming to my mind is that do you also need to study some anatomy, some science of the body to understand कि इसका क्या effect होगा or anything like that? when you're doing a tattoo?
No, unfortunately, and fortunately also, we don't have to because then only doctors
Oh.
would be able to tattoo. But I think there should be a basic certification from the government where they teach the basics of the hygiene. I cannot stress that enough because I've seen studios and people touching all the things with wearing gloves. And there's no point of wearing those gloves if you're touching everything, phone and your mask and everything while tattooing, which is it's not hygienic. So these basic things and little bit about dermatology, about the skin, how deep you have to
Yeah, yeah.
go, you know what can cause keloids and other problems in the skin. These things can only they're not taught anywhere because, as I told you, there are no laws. But bloodborne pathogens, there are so many things which should be taught, and government should uh, make some standards, at least set up some standards so people, not anyone can just like me pick up a machine and start doing it. But yeah, but that was different time. Now it's becoming a profession, and I think people should know the basics of what they're doing because I've seen a lot of messed up skins, and yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
sure
and we
everyone.
are, yeah, and we are a very education related platform. So, even listening about it on our platform, also a lot of people are going to sit up and take notice कि भाई, ये भी एक बहुत इज्जतदार profession है, and you can really make a success of yourself over here. Over to you, coach.
Happy. Thank you so much, Nandaji. And listening to you, every answer, Lokesh, has been such a learning experience and eye opener for people, who do not know about this industry and how, like, people can actually make it big. And you had so much, what do you say, that character and that respect that you have for yourself when you answer that, you must respect your craft. And I can see that in your eyes and in your voice. You have given so many tips, but we would really like to sum up if 5 quick tips that you would like to give to the young brigade. There's so many people who are saying, we follow you, we are big fans, and they're resonating with your journey to them, so that their journey can become smoother as compared to the one that you have walked.
Yeah, so great question. 5 tips. I always love to rant about tattooing because of my pure passion about it, and but yeah, what I would like to tell the youngsters who are getting into tattoo is like, see, I did not worry about money. Yeah, rather than choosing something else who will give me equal or little more pay, I would choose tattooing because I was passionate about it. If had I been passionate about money, I would go to the other thing, or get rich quick schemes kind of things I would do. So first thing is, you have to be really crazy about tattooing. You can only achieve success in anything if you're passionate and crazy about it. And this word gets thrown around a lot, passion and all that. And I don't even believe in giving this marketing motivational quotes and ये सब मेरे को नहीं से नहीं आता है. But you have to be really crazy about what you're doing. If you're doing tattooing, make sure that this is the only thing that you have to do. Of course, you can try 100 things in the beginning, but if you think this is it, then this is it. You cannot run साथ में एक restaurant also and have some other thing also. Then you will not be able to give 100% to anything.
True.
So do only one thing and get your basics right. And how can you get your basics right? If you don't know how to draw it, say a portrait on paper, don't think that you can join a tattoo school or a tattoo studio and do it on the skin directly. So get your basics right means that learn to do it on paper first, because without doing it on paper, it's impossible to do it on the skin. And I get a lot of queries like this के मेरे को स्केचिंग नहीं आती है टैटू, बट मेरे को टैटू सीखना है, 4 मंथ का एडवांस कोर्स करके मैं आपके जैसा काम करने लग जाऊंगा. I myself was not doing this kind of work 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Every year I'm improving myself. First 5 years, I was only writing names. So as I told you, tattoo course can only teach you basics, but उसके बाद आपका repetition and practice है. And I used to spend my own money. मैं अपने जॉब से जो पैसे कमाता था वो टैटू इक्विपमेंट्स और नीडल्स और इंक्स में खर्च कर देता था, बिकॉज इंडिया में कुछ मिलता नहीं था उस टाइम. सो आई यूज्ड टू गेट एवरीथिंग इंपोर्टेड फ्रॉम यूएस और ऑस्ट्रेलिया. ईबे होती थी एक साइट उस टाइम सिर्फ 2003 में. देयर वाज नो अमेज़न, नथिंग. सो ईबे पे जो इंक्स विंक्स मिलती थी वहां से ले लेते थे, एंड लॉट ऑफ ड्यूटीज वी यूज्ड टू पे. सो आई वाज स्पेंडिंग माय ओन मनी, not earning anything, and giving tattoos free to my friends and whoever wants a tattoo, because I was crazy about it. So in fact, इट वाज अ लॉस मेकिंग वेंचर फॉर मी. पैसे तो आ नहीं रहे थे, न्यूट्रल भी नहीं था, अपनी जेब से पैसे डाल के मैं फ्री टैटू लोग. सो यू हैव टू बी दैट क्रेजी अबाउट इट, एंड देन ओनली यू विल मेक इट. सो एंड देन डोंट गो इनटू दिस मार्केटिंग एंड गूगल एड्स या जो भी लोग करते हैं कि यू नो मोटिवेशनल टॉक्स एंड ऑल. Focus on your craft. You Google ads and all these gimmicks can only get you clients for a short period of time, but when those clients see that your work is not good enough, they will do a negative publicity for you. You'll,
So
you know,
true.
so it'll be a negative, like it'll be something ulta. It'll not, in the long run it won't help you. Rather, if you work on your art and if you become better in what you do, better than others around you, then you won't need any ads. Word of mouth is the best publicity, and people will vouch for you if they think that you can do something. So don't spend money on that. Rather, spend time on your craft. Be passionate is what I always tell people. Learn your basics first. Like sketching, अगर आप नहीं कर सकते तो आप भूल जाओ tattoo करना. अभी भी मेरे पास कोई tattoo करने के लिए आता है, so I tell them to send 20 sketches. अगर वो नहीं भेजते हैं तो I don't take them, or I see their sketchbook. If they're not good enough, I tell them to go and practice sketching first, because 4 महीने में से मैं अगर 3 महीने आपको सिर्फ sketching सिखा रहा हूँ, so we have no time to teach you tattooing. So just go home. There are a lot of free tutorials on YouTube. अभी तो इतना people have everything. At our time there was nothing, so we had to just hit and try. People can literally search about Elon Musk ने कोई rocket science नहीं पढ़ी है, but just by reading books and internet knowledge, he was able to make this company like SpaceX, who's sending things to space. So everything, if you want to learn open source, a lot of things are available. You have to be hardworking enough to look for it. Don't think everything will be served to you in a platter. Work harder than others, because 10,000 people join a company, but only one becomes the president or the vice president, because those people don't work by the clock. They don't see ke 5 baj gaye and computer shut down. They are passionate about it. They give more time than anyone else, and as I always tell, whoever gives more time will win in the end. You know, it's all about repetition, nothing else.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this is my these are the few things that I always tell people if someone asks me for advice. And so start with the basics. Sketching is very important. Backbone है वो tattooing का. अगर आपको sketching नहीं आती तो पहले आप sketching सीख लो. Otherwise कोई भी tattoo course आपको कोई help नहीं करेगा.
Nanda ji.
I am absolutely spellbound. I'm looking at this young man and his body language, the way he's speaking, his eyes, and I am so filled with love and respect for him that, he is valuing his profession so much. If there was a doctor or a major surgeon, like a senior surgeon sitting here, or somebody who was really an icon in his or her career, is exactly the vibe that Lokesh is carrying, and it is so beautiful.
Absolutely.
लाइफ में सक्सेसफुल होने के लिए पहले तो सबसे पहले अपने आप पे कॉन्फिडेंस रहना is so important. And to not think that what you're doing is anything less than anybody. And this is
Yeah.
exactly what Lokesh is representing here. And I am so proud of him, and I'm so proud of his art. So God bless you with lots more. Anything else that Uzma you would like to ask him? He has shared so much with us today.
Yeah. All I
Thank
want
you.
to say is that, yes, Lokesh, please, first you complete yourself.
No, I was just saying thank you to Coach Nanda, and to be I'm, as I told you, I love to rant about all these things, because I see all sorts of people who think I have a magic wand that I'll teach them and they will become equally good, or you know so this is me speaking from my heart, and इसमें ज्यादा कुछ वैसा है नहीं बताने
And
के
it's
लिए.
not ranting, Lokesh. You're not superficial in what you're saying. If you're superficial, then
Absolutely.
it is ranting. This is coming from the heart space and
It's
talking
coming from the
what
heart,
really
and
is.
because I've been through all these things, so I know what works
Yes.
and what does not, and what works is
Yes.
purely hard work.
Yes.
बहुत सवाल आपने सुना होगा, there's no shortcut, there's no shortcut, but actually there is no shortcut. That's why people say it. There is nothing which can
Yes.
replicate hard work and that 10,000 hours which I
Absolutely.
spoke about. आप कितने भी वीडियो
Yeah.
देख लो इंटरनेट पे, जब तक आप बैठ के वो 10 बार नहीं करोगे तब तक आप उसमें अच्छे नहीं होगे. So stop. So I did a not a TED talk, but I did another talk like that. I won't name them, but a motivational channel on YouTube. And in the end, what I said was what I said in that talk was very funny.
Go in,
I told,
share it.
so they were like, "You speak your heart out and say whatever you want to say." And I was like, "Okay." So I gave my complete talk about my life journey and how I struggled and did everything. And in the end, I said, "So now you can watch another. YouTube has 10,000 more hours of inspirational talks. You can skip to the next one and watch another one." And keep on doing that, or this should be the last inspirational talk that you see. Get up and start working. So I think they got.
Super.
So they were like, so they those people were like, hey, you cannot say that, you cannot watch any other talk and all that. Later they told me that was their business, the whole business model. But I was like, either you keep on watching these talks, थोड़ा देर इंस्पायर हो जाओ 2 घंटे के लिए, अगले दिन 1 घंटा काम कर लो, उसके बाद फिर वही हालत, या तो देखना छोड़ दो ये सब टॉक्स इंस्पिरेशंस और आप काम करो.
See, it's
No.
so amazing, Lokesh. Your wit, your humor, and your unfiltered talk. I would say people are so politically correct. They want to be diplomatic. They have so many ifs and buts. But the best part about you is you're speaking everything from the heart, and sab jo aa raha hai wo without any filters aa raha hai, and I feel that is what people relate to. When you show your true authentic self, this is what people like and this is what people want to hear. अगर हम बहुत ही ज्यादा fancy कहानियां सुनाते रहेंगे कि this is how it happened, this that, it doesn't work. People want to relate that yes, we are not gods as coaches, or you know in your industry being at the acme of success. They want to see the real crudeness of a person, and you have shown it so nicely. We are so happy, you coming on our show and sharing so much, making it so fun filled. And I and Nandaji, we have personally learned so much from you, and our value
Oh,
system
come on.
resonate with you so much, because we keep telling our clients that there is no shortcut. Ever you have to focus, you have to have that consistency, no matter how boring you find it. That's how you're going to be successful. And you have said it's like making us also say, yeah, we are all successful people follow the same track. So we all are, the club is same and the values are same. And here we are at the end of Thoughtful Thursday episode 3, which I feel has been a blast. Apologies to people whose questions have not been answered, because there were so many, but we are restricted with the time. But you can share it in the comment section, and as in when, if Lokesh is free, he can answer, because we cannot answer the tattoo specific questions, of course.
Just DM me. They
But
can send me a DM if they
yeah,
want
they
to
can
ask
DM
anything.
you
That will be
also.
easier.
And
Because
once
I
we
cannot see
visit
most of the
Delhi,
questions here. I cannot even see any
uh,
questions here
I know,
in my
yes, I
screen.
mean the
Uh,
comments are getting hidden. I was
yeah,
also
yeah.
trying in
Even I
between.
cannot scroll back and see anything. So anyone
Like
has any question, they can feel free to ask me
some
technical
somebody had
things.
a very funny question. Can I get a tattoo on my elbow?
Sorry, I did not get you.
Can I
Somebody
get a
in the
tattoo on my elbow?
Who's
uh,
asking this?
somebody was asking in the one of the persons were
In
asking.
the chats
Yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
the live.
Definitely, you can get it on the elbow. You can get it wherever you want.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah, this is an educational platform, so I'm not going to divulge into this anymore. And we're at the end of the show. But ये बड़ा question mark है मेरे ऊपर. Anywhere वाला, is a very thing जो हमने काफी पढ़ा है जिसके बारे में कि लोग पता नहीं कैसे कैसे eccentricities रखते हैं to get the
Right.
tattoos in all kinds of funny places. But God bless,
Yeah.
each to their own.
Yeah, but you
ठीक
can tattoo almost every part of your body. So elbow is not a problem. Just that you cannot get a portrait or anything, but you can get something bold, graphic thing around that area.
Right. So thank you so much, Lokesh. Any last
My
line as
pleasure,
your
Uzma.
experience being on Thoughtful Thursday?
No, no. As you said, I was very crude and politically correct. I don't. No, I was not. I don't think I was politically. I was thinking so much. So if I said something wrong to anyone, I
No,
apologize.
no.
And it's
Hmm.
uh, And yeah, it is also very important to be politically correct, especially nowadays in the country. So so that is yeah, I think I try to be as genuine and as clear with my whatever I want to convey. Not the best orator, but I hope that you learned something. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me on my DMs. And Coach Uzma and Coach Nanda, really thankful. I really had fun speaking to you guys. I did not expect it to be so much fun. So in
We
the
are very
beginning,
fun coaches. We
yeah,
break the stereotypes.
yeah.
I
And on
know.
WhatsApp also, when I was talking to her, I was, I was not sure what how will it go, and because I do so many interviews and there's like same repetitive questions, but it was fun regardless. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
We are glad. Thank you
So
so
we
much. Bye bye. Yeah, Nandaji.
bye. No,
You were saying,
I was saying that we were appreciating the raw energy, the raw vibe that Lokesh got without, having any facades. That's what we were trying to put across. So
thank you so
thank you
much.
for being here with
Okay.
us. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye
guys.
bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care.